Hello and good evening because it is nighttime. Greetings. So, I just have to tell this story time. So this happened a long time ago. I'm thinking that this was the year of 2000. 2000. I was dating this guy, and what had happened was me and him went out on a date. He took me to Red Lobster. We had steak and shrimp and wine and all that. So after we went out to eat, we went back to his house to Netflix and chill and just be together. So I remember when we first walked in the house because he lived with his dad and his stepmom, okay? So I spoke to his stepmom and his dad. We went to his room and we was chilling and everything, and here comes the part that's really gonna it's kind of embarrassing for me to tell this, but this is true stories that happened in my life, so I'm just gonna tell it. And I'm gonna try not to be that explicit as I'm telling the story. So he and I had been drinking a little bit. We was drinking Patron and we was just chilling and watching TV, kissing and hugging and touching and all this. So when we finally started to have sex. So first his stepmom had came and knocked on the door. He got out of the bed with me. He went to the door and she asked him something. Then she said, okay, and she went away. So tell me why, once he and I started getting into it, once we started having sex, this bitch had opened his door and caught us, in the act. I mean, she saw everything. Because he was butt naked and so was I. And I was mortified. I was just upset and I wanted to beat that lady ass. I know she was old and everything, but lady, how dare you? And I went off on him and I said, why in the fuck does she have the right to just come in your room like that? Especially when you have company over. And then he said she always does that. I'm like, well, you need to stop her. Or I'm not going to come over here and be with you again because I did not appreciate that. She saw my private parts. She saw his ass, his naked ass, and his private parts. She saw everything. And then it was okay. Let me try to get myself together. It was a little bit funny, but I was mad because I'm like, okay, first of all, the first time that she fucking opened the motherfucking door, she gonna stand there and she was just looking. And I feel like that's not the first time that she saw him naked. But it just really irritated me because I'm like, you need to get a lock on your door. She shouldn't have the right to just burst in your room like that whenever she feel like it's like, whenever she feel like it. And I'm like, no, he's like, she always does that. I don't pay her no mind. I'll try to get a lock on my door. I said, because I feel violated. Like, she saw my goodies. She saw his goodies. She saw everything, and it's like it's bad enough you opened the door, and you just stood there in the motherfucking doorway, looking at me and him, your stepson, doing it. And so I made him get his motherfucking clothes on. I said, just take me home now. Take me home. He's like, I'm sorry. Why are you mad? I thought you was going to spend the night with me. I said, I was, but I don't want to spend the night with you now because I don't like what your stepmom did. Take me home. And he took me home. But I don't know at the time, because at the time my mom was living. I don't know if I told my mom about it, but I didn't tell my mom about it because I was too embarrassed to let her know something like that had happened. But she, like, he was like on me, so I could see her face. I could see when she first opened the door, and she just stood there in the goddamn doorway looking at me and him, us butt naked and stuff. I was just done at that moment. I'm like, take me home. He jumped up and grabbed his robe and stuff, and then she stood there. She's like, I came here to give you back the iron so you can iron your clothes. And like, you could knock. You ain't gotta burst in his room, like, cause just thinking about that shit just makes me mad all over again because I could not believe what had just happened. He low-key thought the shit was funny. He laughed all the way. He laughed his ass off all the way until he took me home. But I was pissed. I was pissed for like a week. But yeah, I just had to give that story time because that's a true story. And like, at that point, he was in his 20s, I was in my 20s. He still lived at home with his parents, just like I still lived at home with my mom. But he should have had, a lock on his door because I did not appreciate that. That is what happened. I hope y'all enjoyed the story time. And I know y'all got y'all ha-ha and kikis out of it. It was what it was. Whatever. Until then, y'all stay blessed.